Hey man, say man, it's your boy Big Dreams. Welcome back to the channel. Before we carry on any further with this video, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, most importantly, make sure y'all subscribe and hit that post notification bell. Set it to all, man. We is back with another banger video, back with another reaction video, man. And today, hold on, thought I had to sneeze, but today we are reacting to why rappers are scared of Kendrick Lamar. So we finna dig in here and see what's going on. I'm not gonna make the opening of this video too long. All I ask is that y'all smash that like button so this video can rank higher in the algorithm. Go crazy in the comments, let me know what you want me to react to. And if you watching me, you not subscribed, man, subscribe. That's all I ask. We finna go ahead and get into this video though, man.
Kendrick Lamar is terrifying to his fellow rappers, not just in the wake of his recent activity, but long before he was ever as battle-tested as he is now. At the minute, hip-hop is basking in the landscape where he destroyed Drake so savagely that his name is now being used as an acronym to warn others.
So, I'm rap against Kendrick ever?
Yeah.
You didn't sit home with the fucking BlackBerry or the bum composition book and write acronyms for your own fucking name.
But while Drake's defeat at K-Dot's hands has proven exactly why so few have gone at Kendrick over the years, what is it that makes his reputation so fierce in the first place? Well, there's actually a
I will say this, bro.
That made it
during this whole beef between Kendrick and Drake, and even when he dropped that song, the very first diss song, whatever song started this whole mess, even from that first song, bro, like listening to his tracks, bro, Kendrick showed me a different side. Don't get me wrong, I got Kendrick songs on my playlist, and of course he made good music, bro, but Kendrick Lamar like showed me something different, especially with that Not Like Us jump, bro. They got the folks over here dancing on Drake's name with disrespect from Not Like Us, bro. For real, like, bro, that man now drug Drake through the fire. Real talk. With that one track, bro, it just sealed the deal. It was a one-hitter quitter. A one-hitter quitter, dog. For real.
Clear to the whole world that Kendrick wasn't a man to trifle with. My name is Luesta, and this is why rappers are scared of Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of angles to tackle why Kendrick has such a reputation for being one of the MCs that you just don't attempt to rhyme against. But one of the main reasons is that the reverence that the culture has for him trickles down to the top of the industry. Co-signed by Dr. Dre and passed the torch to the West Coast by Snoop Dogg, The Game, Corrupt, and every other OG you can think of.
I'ma say this and I'ma think this. Nigga, you got the torch, nigga, you better rock with that.
Even the legendary Eminem once thought that his pen game couldn't possibly live up to the hype.
The thing with M was crazy to me. He kicks everybody out the studio. I took it as him kicking everybody out to see if that's really you writing them raps. That's your writing.
Okay, with Eminem known to be upset at rappers who use ghostwriters, that's a pretty fair assumption. But as Ed Sheeran remembered, he soon found out exactly why K-Dot was given so many props by people that he respected.
Eminem, he'd heard that Kendrick Lamar was the best rapper, and he invited him to the studio to get him on a song, and he arrived, and Kendrick came with all his mates, and Eminem said, I just want you in the studio, just you on your own, and then my engineer's going to come in and then record you doing it, but your mates aren't allowed in. And then Kendrick did it, wrote a sick verse, and then everyone came in to listen to it, and Eminem said he did it to test Kendrick because he thought he had a ghostwriter, and he then realised that he didn't, and then claimed that he was the best.
Ever since the two of them collaborated on Love Game off the Marshall Mathers LP2, Eminem has known that Lamar is among the elites in the game. And in a rare show of vulnerability from Shady, he suggested that he would think twice about coming for Kendrick.
It's the same thing if I getting on the track with Kendrick. I can never tell what the fuck he's gonna do.
Right.
Because he is such a chameleon of styles that he can fucking do pretty much anything, right? And he's so proficient at it, he's so good at it, and you don't know what you're gonna get. That to me is like a top tier lyricist, because it's like you can get your ass kicked any day.
Besides overshadowing rappers on features, K-Dot never had to square off with other MCs in the same way that Shady had to in his career. But he always insisted that he had it in him to tear a rapper to shreds, even after he became a mainstream star. His entire Section 80 campaign basically revolved around the claim that he would kill your favorite rapper. Then, on Damn's Element, he issued a warning that all they had to do was say his name and they'll see Candyman. Then, after winning a Pulitzer Prize, he let his colleagues know what time it was on Rich Spirit, where he told them to stop playing with him before he turns you into a song.
Stop playing with me before I turn into a song.
Now, in the wake of Aubrey's demolition and J. Cole waving the white flag, we know that wasn't an idle threat, as over these past few weeks, he's left massive footprints on their legacies.
I said this once and I'm going to say it again, bro. It's probably best that J. Cole did what he did. It's probably best that J. Cole did what he did. Now, I'm not saying J. Cole could not have stood his ground. J. Cole can stand his ground, bro. Of course he can stand his ground. But I feel like for the culture, Kendrick versus Drake is what the culture needed. Not Kendrick versus Drake versus Cole. Kendrick versus Drake was exactly what the culture needed, bro. Like, they've been dropping so many diss tracks. I highly doubt other artists have been able to drop, because they're dropping back to back to back to back, bro. Even this man Duke Deuce got on Instagram. He was like, "Hey, bro, can y'all stop dropping? Like, we got music we trying to drop too. Y'all dropping back to back to back to back. We can't even drop." Like, I guarantee you, the world during that time when they was dropping diss track after diss track after diss track, bro, that's what the world was focused on. Like, they was dropping so many diss songs, bro. Literally, just like I said a few seconds ago, I highly doubt any other rapper was able to even obtain any type of shine off their music, because the world is like, hey, Kendrick Drake. Like, for real, bro. At this point, they just should have made a whole album.
Anytime soon. But long before everything that followed Kendrick's declaration of "fuck the big three, it's just Big Me" went down, rappers already showed a real reluctance to cross him. In fact, when they let their ego get in the way and spoke out against him, they usually decided to pay homage instead. Because although he had never really been in a battle until Drake thought he could take him on, he already proved how much his presence and the chatter around your career can do with Big Sean. In many ways, Big Sean is pretty much the reason why Kendrick is going at Drake in the first place. By now, we all know about K-Dot's infamous verse on Control, where he hijacked Big Sean's track to let the whole industry know that even though he had love for them, he was trying to murder them and take their fans. At the same time, Big Sean insisted that he didn't even get bodied on the track, even though he opted to leave it off his Hall of Fame album that it was originally intended to be on. But he never really managed to escape its shadow.
I put that work in. Like, you're not...
Kendrick versus Big Sean. Who win in that battle? Let me know in the comments right now. Who you got? If there was ever a Kendrick versus Big Sean beef, who's winning? Kendrick or Big Sean? Y'all let me know. Let me know now.
I'll hop on any track with anybody, and I will not only stand my own, you gonna know that it's my verse, and you gonna know I'm
Except for Control. Kendrick Washington, you want Control?
No, stop it.
Sean, come on now. Come on.
And how long ago is that? What year is this?
Is that where you right? You got me.
Okay.
You're right.
And I still don't feel like I got washed anyway.
Nah, you got washed on.
Whatever. Yo, see, that's what I'm saying. You can't focus on people's opinions. You know why? Because that's gonna throw you off.
Although he never fully accepted that there was beef, Big Sean did attempt to throw subliminal shots at Dot from time to time. For example, on songs like Me, Myself, and I, and in No More Interviews, people felt like the Detroit rapper was aiming at Kendrick's rapping style. But as is often the case, Kendrick never even acknowledged that anything was going down. Then, on the Hard Part 4, he let the world know that he heard what was being said, and that if he kept pushing, Big Sean would get what he thought he wanted.
My fans can't wait for me to sun your punk ass and crush your whole little shit. I'll be pun your punk ass, you a scared little bitch.
While he never got a formal diss track dedicated to him, Big Sean was informed in no uncertain terms that Kendrick would come at his neck whenever he wanted to. Meanwhile, the Control situation left such a permanent imprint on Big Sean's career that you can almost divide it between the time before that verse and everything that happened after. And in a move that has really set the tone for how people come out of the other side of squabbling with Kendrick, Big Sean speaks of him with nothing but admiration now, and basically acts as if there was never a problem in the first place.
The whole Big Sean Kendrick beef was going on. It was something I wish I would have spoke up about, because there was nothing. So then I remember going online and seeing like, oh, is he talking about Kendrick? Because I was talking about people who rap fast. I wasn't beefing with nobody.
Insisting that he didn't want any problems, Big Sean still had to acknowledge that the whole thing has haunted him for years.
And in every verse I do, people be like, oh, is this a response? Is this a response? And I'm like, it's like, damn, I can't even show no aggression. People think it's a damn response. It got to a point where somehow it was just a weird tension between me and him, even though it was already said it wasn't no beef because people made it that way, right?
Although Big Sean probably got the raw end of the deal out of control, there was another man on the track who goes by the name of Jay Electronica. And although he was regarded as one of the world's greatest MCs at the time, he didn't escape unscathed either. Basically, Jay Elect didn't appreciate the fact that people were saying Kendrick beat him on the track. In fact, he said that
I've never heard any of his music before, so I can't even speak here.
Kendrick will body you. Look, you couldn't pay Kendrick $1 million. Kendrick wouldn't tell you. Kendrick could tell you himself he couldn't body me. Kendrick, look, Kendrick is my son. Kendrick is my baby. Kendrick.
Those are OD words, though, sir.
The Curse of Mayweather.
Kendrick is your son. Kendrick is your baby. Oh Lord. If I was Kendrick and I heard that, bro, hey, bro, look, even if you didn't want it beef, I would have made some beef out of that. I mean, you just called me your baby? You call me your son? Hey, bro, you better be writing your best rap, because I'm sure finna go write mine. Sir, you ain't finna disrespect me like that. Your best to get the right, your best gets the right now, because I promise you, if I'm Kendrick and I heard that, hey, bro, you get in the studio, I'm gonna get in the studio. Hey, let's get this show on the road. I got some stuff I got to say.
Fuck these white people, which refers to the amount of Grammys Kendrick won at the time. He followed it up with, my grandmother died at 82 scrubbing floors, and rappers still running around begging for awards. J-Leg looked like he was practically begging for problems. Then, from out of nowhere, he seemed to have a change of heart and was giving Dot his flowers all of a sudden. Lastly, peace to K-Dot and TDE, because regardless to whom or what, we're brothers fighting the same energy. Forgive my past energy. Although it's unclear what made him switch up like that, Jay, like many rappers we're going to discuss, was another man who folded on Dot when he was put to the test. For the most part, hip-hop's response to Kendrick's
I've never heard any of his music, bro. I can't even speak here.
For the most part, hip-hop
I ain't never heard none of his music before.
Name drops on Control not only laid the groundwork for the Drake beef, but it also set the precedent for how rappers would tiptoe around him. At the time, there were tons of responses to Control, but they all seemed like they were carefully towing the line as to not go too far. For example, after feeling anger that Slaughterhouse were left out of the shoutouts, one of the group's members, Joel Ortiz, responded with the vicious track titled Out of Control, where he let Kendrick have it.
And then you the king of New York, little homie, you ain't the king of New York, you the next thing on my floor.
But later on, he would do an interview with Vibe and say that he was actually saluting Kendrick for the most part. As for the notoriously fearless Joe Budden, he was hosting a live stream for the response track only to opt out and not release it. Amid responses from Papoose and others, Kendrick remained so calm about the whole thing that it would be impossible for it to not strike fear in their hearts.
How you feeling about all the comebacks lately from your Control verse?
You gotta try hard.
So when they all backed down, it really made the whole culture realize that Lamar was to be treated with respect. Basically, there's always a caveat when it comes to K-Dot slander, rather than anyone really coming for his neck. I mean, just look at what happened to French Montana when he attempted to diss him. Over the years, French has had a few things to say about Kendrick. First off, he claimed that he was being pushed by the industry.
Why you think Kendrick sells more than like street rappers?
Cause they
French Montana don't even appear to me as a rapper that would get involved in any beef. Now, I'm not saying he can't rhyme. I'm not saying he can't rap. But French Montana doesn't even, like, he doesn't strike that type of picture in my head for me to even imagine, like, him beefing with somebody through rapping, bro. I cannot picture that with French Montana, bro. Seriously, I cannot.
Position
I
him like how
cannot.
they did in the Grammys as the new music. Well, I don't feel like that's, you know, it's not that it's not the right thing to do, but I just feel like you see, it's like the whole thing was like Kendrick Knight.
Then, more ridiculously, he said that he had more hits than him, only found relentlessly by Drake. If we're just talking about anthems, me versus Kendrick hit for hit, I believe I could go neck to neck. I've been making hits for a long time. I love Kendrick. That's not just for Kendrick, that's for anybody that loves him. However, not everyone agreed with this. I mean, even other rappers hopped on the bandwagon to mock him for it.
stupid ass nigga say he got more hits than Kendrick Lamar. Fool. The man said he got more hits than me and Kendrick. Bro, yo, Jake Anthony got more hits than no motherfucking Kendrick, and you ain't damn sure ain't got more hits or anthems than me. You smoke hard, why you tripping? No, real dope.
But while he had smoke for Thug and engaged in a war of words with him over it, French Montana never tried to provoke K-Dot any further. And now, just like everyone else, French has since basically apologized for even thinking he could mess with him and said he was just in his feelings at the time.
I was just heated. I ain't win a Grammy for Unforgettable.
That's what it was?
Yeah, but Kendrick is my dog. But just that one day.
So it's like everybody initiates it, but somewhere along the lines they just bag out. You know what I'm saying? They'll start, but they won't go through with it. It's like you started just enough that when you choose to bag out, you can bag out without the repercussions following. That's really what it seemed like. They'll start, but then later it's just like, nah.
I was so heated that I ain't win, and he was the winner. And I was like, yo, but I fuck with Kendrick. I fuck with the whole team.
Opting to say that he was in the wrong, rather than say Kendrick had any part in it, this is a rare show of humility for a rapper. And while Cole has been taking all the flack for getting up on that Dreamville Festival stage and saying that his 7-minute drill diss song towards Kendrick didn't sit right with his spirit and would be deleted off streaming services.
When I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace.
History shows that he's not the first person to make his apologies to Kendrick. And maybe fear of being dismantled on a verse wasn't the only reason. Although his immense talents on the mic are one major factor, French extended
Cole came up in that joint. Threw a whole lot of haymakers and apologized for doing damage. Like, that's basically what it's like. He got in there and he got on up out of there. The way Cole treated that, Cole treated that like a regular person that just show up to the party to show their face for 30 minutes and they just dip out of nowhere. Cole got in and got out. He ain't waste no time. No time.
Because as these rappers likely learned before going at his neck, messing with Kendrick requires you to go up against an army. And while Kendrick might have been a good kid in a mad city, he's got a whole city behind him. And there's something dangerous about Kendrick that not a lot of people speak about. Growing up in Compton, Kendrick was exposed to the gang lifestyle early on, and many of his best friends were active members. Then, after joining TDE, he suddenly found himself in the midst of the Bounty Hunter Bloods and Hoover Crips as he teamed up with fellow label mates Schoolboy Q and J-Rock, as well as a whole host of other people who were repping sets. Recently, Kendrick's gang ties have come under the microscope again. Because if the rumors are true, Cole might have received a tip to back off from the beef that sounds not too dissimilar to what you'd see on the streets from Schoolboy Q. Reporting from Dreamville Festival, an unnamed source revealed that it was actually Schoolboy Q who allegedly warned J. Cole to stop beefing with Kendrick before the apology. I'm not specifying what kind of warning, whether it was a bullying move, a Debo-like maneuver, or just a friendly heads up. I don't think it matters at this point. But based on what Punch, TDE's president, said, I think they gave him what he needed to hear to bow out of the battle with as much grace as possible. Whether he was letting him know what kind of heat K-Dot had in store for Drake with the abuse allegations, or telling him to ease.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's not that Cole couldn't hold his own, bro. If it was a Kendrick versus Cole situation, I feel like Cole would have, you know what I'm saying, came with some. Cole would have came with some jump. That's all I'm gonna say. Cole would have came with the heat. Cole would have stood his ground. But it was meant for the world to get Kendrick versus Drake, because I feel like Kendrick already had that heat waiting for Drake. So it was best for Cole to back out the way. Not because he can't compete. Cole can compete. It's just Kendrick already had that plan. He already had that plan, bro. That Kendrick versus Drake, that's what society needed, bro. That's what society needed, bro, for real. And him stepping out the way was probably the best thing. And like I say, not to say he can't compete, because he can, but because Drake and Kendrick, that beef through rapping needed to happen, bro. So the fact that he stepped back and he let Kendrick he let Kendrick do his big one, bro, when it came to Drake, yo.
This whole situation
That's what he needed.
Kendrick is getting involved in, the streets he grew up on have his back. In terms of gangs, Kendrick has long been rumored to have connections to the West Side Pyru. In addition to his affiliation to the red side of the city, Kendrick also has uncles who are Crips, several of which have served lengthy jail terms for gang-related activity and armed robbery, and he's still locked in with them to this very day.
Does the crew come out every time you come to Compton?
Yeah.
As a result of his connections, as well as old pictures of Kendrick dressed in red, Drake's recent assessment that he isn't affiliated to a set on his new track, Family Matters, has been ridiculed by from Compton. At the same time, respecting Kendrick's desire to withhold that from becoming a big part of his identity.
Drake says you don't bang a set. Then he says the game bangs a set. Even Chris Brown bangs a set. He just don't know Kendrick. That's what I'm saying. Kendrick,
I was about to say, bro, he sitting up here speaking on that man, bro. Listen, you sitting up here speaking about the set. Now, you ain't directly talking about the set, but you speaking on the set. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you setting yourself up for a world of trouble talking about something what the man don't bang. I'm pretty sure telling a Crip that he ain't banging Crip is the worst thing you could ever do. Don't sit up there and tell a Crip he's not a Crip. Don't tell a Blood he's not a Blood. You gonna sit up there and tell somebody they not banging a set, bro? You setting yourself up for a world of trouble, dog. What?
Kendrick just don't be priding himself off of his gang culture, so I guess people think that he a non-affiliate. I don't know if we posted, but hey.
But obviously, the fact is Kendrick severely downplays gang affiliation.
The push-ups was in his hood, wasn't it? The push-ups that you talk about, they at the park.
Once again, the clues for Cali having his back have all been there in the music. On Section 80's Poor Man Dreams, Kendrick has a line where he says,
The city got my back. Before that, I give them my torso. Think about it.
basically what he's saying here is that he can say things with his chest because he knows that he has the city behind him. And when you look close at those videos of Not Like Us going off in the club, he should definitely feel more confident in that than ever.
Now, I'm not gonna cap. If any city, I feel like LA, Compton, that area, they should have banged that song harder than anybody. LA or Compton, like those areas, bro. LA, Compton, they should have banged Not Like Us hard. They should have banged that hard, boy.
But while this could be taken literally for the whole state of California, that line may contain allusions to his gang ties. In an interview from back in the day, Snoop Dogg went into more detail about this.
It's just that he's a nice guy, so we're gonna have a problem with him because he doesn't have a gangster approach. But let me let y'all know, he got 100,000 motherfucking gangsters with him. So y'all better watch what y'all say. You understand what I'm saying? Keep it hip-hop, because that's what he did. He kept it all hip-hop.
In spite of the fact that Kendrick hasn't ever definitively said he was a gangbanger, what we do know is that there are times in his life where he moved like one. Back in the day, Dot tried to intimidate AD of the No Jumper podcast and back on Fig because Kendrick thought he was from a rival neighborhood.
Hey, you want to know a crazy thing about Kendrick, bro? My first encounter with him, he thought I was somebody else, bro. He low-key tried to press me.
Who?
Kendrick Lamar.
Who you think you were?
He from a different hood. I guess some niggas jumped him back in the day. And I came to the studio and he was mad. He was like, hey, you from Almond Block? And I was like, nah. But he was hot.
You banged on him, man?
Where's Almond Block?
No, Almond Block is another hood in Compton. And I was like, nah, I ain't from Almond Block.
He thought you were lying.
And he was like, you is from Almond Block. I'm like, nah, I ain't from Almond Block. I'm over here.
He
was like, all right. And then we was cool after that.
But
he was
say,
mad,
all right.
No, he was mad. Yeah, he was mad. Like if I was from Almond Block, he would have got his get back on me that day.
From the gang members which regularly appear in his music videos, the musical appears like mustard, proving that they'll throw away any other relationship to ride for his Cali comrade. Dot's status as king of the West Coast, and everything that entails it, would make anyone think twice before coming at him. But while there was speculation that Kendrick wasn't to be taken lightly, it's safe to say that this Drake battle has made that crystal clear. Although OVO stands like Maul or academics may argue otherwise, there's no denying that Kendrick washed Drake. Bearing the music itself, the fact that he overthrew Drake's record for the highest streams for a rap song in a day with a track where he calls him a sex offender is just diabolical. Now, fans are waiting.
And see, look, I'ma tell you what is so OD about the Not Like Us song. Okay, the song did numbers first and foremost. On top of that, you're calling Drake a pedophile. You saying he like him young. You saying he prefers younger. Whatever the case may be. You say you need to hide your little sister from him. You call him a freaky N-word. You a 69 God and all that. Bro, folks are making a mockery of that, bro. And on top of that, that song was rapped on a beat that you can literally make up any dance in the world to, bro. You can two-step to that jump. The doggone Crips can crip walk. Man, look, whoever. That song now, bro, that's a real party song, bro. That's a real party song. You can go in any club right now and turn on Not Like Us, bro. Everybody gonna be dancing and singing the lyrics, bro. That's a relatable song. That was a song for the culture right there. That song tore Drake apart, but it was for the culture still. That's the most OD thing about that, bro, because the people like heard that and they was like, yeah, he tore Drake apart. But when it got to that part where he was like, oh, they say OV, hold on, stay up this way, stay up that, like, cause I heard it, I'm sitting up here like, all right, now we can stop with this, like, bro, that song was for the people. It tore Drake apart, but it was for the people. Real talk.
The fact that he just wasn't to be messed with. I knew Kendrick Lamar was a dude that needed to be left alone when that video of him doing burpees in a parking lot while listening to oldies dropped. Something is clearly wrong with him. Look at this fucking psychopath. His willingness to take a rapper out aside, what's happening to Drizzy these days further explains to why he wasn't challenged before now. Because while people have been throwing jabs at Drake for years, it doesn't matter if they don't hit the general public. But with Kendrick, you have a rare mix of someone who isn't just obscenely skilled, but also has the platform to slander you and reach huge audiences. It's the fear of embarrassment. He's a better rapper than almost everyone in the industry skill-wise. He can do both mainstream and underground style music when most artists just choose one and never change. Because he can immortalize you in a negative light in the form of a classic hit. If you needed proof that this is a real thing, just look at this school teacher's comments about the change in tone around Drake in the wake of Not Like Us dropping.
I, up until today, taught at a very Drake-centric high school. Rich Baby Daddy is the most frequently requested song to put on my class playlist. If I ask students what they're listening to in their headphones, Drake. The week after the leak was a nightmare. But today, I walk in and I can feel that there has been a tectonic shift. Oh my god. This is a Kendrick school now. I polled my classes on what they thought, and they were ready to throw down for Kendrick. I had like one Drake defender in each class, if that. And honestly, I feel bad for those kids because they were getting screamed at.
As people move to the sides, he has even hit Drake in his pockets. According to Billboard, from May 3rd to May 6th, Lamar's discography earned around 50 million streams, up 49% from the previous Friday to Monday tracking period. Meanwhile, Drake's overall catalog is actually down when you similarly compare his streams from that weekend to last weekend, and remove his 2 streaming available response tracks, Push-Ups and Family Matters. Although Kendrick won't overtake Drake's streaming numbers as a whole, what is clear is that Kendrick's versatility has proven to be a weapon, and as Eminem suggested earlier, one of the reasons why it's not advisable to test him.
If you go through all these records, from Like That to Euphoria to 616 LA to Meet the Grams to Not Like Us, none of those records sound the same at all. It's the widest range I've ever seen in the amount of time in any diss battle ever. When it comes to the rapping and the music, fuck all like the timeline or what's true and what's not true, who's rapping and who is putting out the better records. Kendrick Lamar checked every fucking box sonically that you could think of.
From his pen game to his potential gang ties, there are lots of reasons why Kendrick is feared, but the biggest reason of all should be how seriously he takes his craft.
I'm so passionate about hip-hop, man. Like, I don't know what era everybody else come from, but I listen, man. Like, we play house parties, bro, every night. I love it to a point I can't even describe it. And when I heard these artists say they're the best coming up, I said, I'm not doing it to have a good song or one good rap or a good hook or a good bridge. I want to keep doing it every time, period. And to do it every time, you have to challenge yourself and you have to confirm to yourself that you're the best, period.
This explains the responsibility he feels to uphold standards, as well as why Drake taking the culture without giving back bothers him so much.
This is not something you just play with, you know, get some few dollars and get out, you know. People live their lives to this music. It's my partners in the hood right now. They listen to rap every day because it's the only thing that can relate to their stories and their tribulations. You have to take in consideration what you write down on that paper. And if you're not doing it to say the most impactful, you're doing it to be the best you can be for the listener. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Always one to keep his sword sharp, Kendrick would never allow himself to lose with that kind of mindset. In a genre where other rappers lose their hunger over time, K-Dot has always stayed as determined to prove himself as when Overly Dedicated dropped. At the same time, never bothering anyone unless he feels provoked. To explain why Kendrick is among the most feared rappers of any era, we need to borrow a phrase that dates back to Roman times. If you want peace, prepare for war. Whether you may realize it or not, Kendrick stays ready. And after destroying Drake, he's probably bought himself a whole lot of that coveted peaceful life for decades to come. Unless someone is stupid enough to ignore these warnings and try him again.
Oh yeah, and see, look, I'm gonna say one last thing, bro. Kendrick showed how serious he can get through that whole Drake-Kendrick beef thing. Like, through the whole beef, Kendrick Lamar showed that, hey, bro, it gets ugly over here. For real. And, man, look. I honestly feel like after Not Like Us, bro, I feel like Drake could have came up with something. He could have came up with something, but at the same time, bro, it's like Kendrick, he done already hit you where it hurt, bro. So in order for you to come back and make something that'll overpower that, you gotta take some time out and do some thinking, bro. For real, because you ain't just finna throw something together and think you finna come back and outdo Not Like Us. Not Like Us still got the world in the chokehold, bro. Like, for real. But man, look, listen. This is the end of the video. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all comment. Most importantly, make sure y'all subscribe and hit that post notification bell. Set it to all. All social media links will be in the description. The link to the previous reaction video will also be in the description. Make sure y'all follow me on all my social medias. Click the link to the previous reaction video and watch that whole video after you watch this whole video, man. And don't forget that I am partnered with SeanArmour.com, the #1 producer in auto detailing products. The link to Sean Armour will be in the description. My promo code WALT20 will also be in the description as well. Go to Sean Armour, put in your orders, use my promo code. You get 20% off your orders, man. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for showing me love back. And we out this thing, man, for real.
Like I